Massive matchup of the SEC Saturdays. Number 22 Auburn hit the road to take on 11th ranked Oklahoma. The Sooners with a chance at a second-ranked win in September for just the third time in the history of the storied program. John Mateer looking to continue his early Heisman campaign. Tied at 3 in the second, Oklahoma possession. He's going to find Isaiah Satania for the touchdown. Sooners up 10-3. Later on, same score, Jackson Arnold going back to his old stopping grounds, connects with Cam Coleman. Deadlocked at 10. On to the fourth quarter, Kevin.
But then Jackson Arnold going to take off and pick up this first down under duress, but a nice run by the quarterback. Good vision and toughness, getting down for the first there. And then later on in the drive, Malcolm Simmons takes the handoff around the outside. Touchdown, Tigers up 17-16.
You know what, guys? We got a game on our hand as we enter this last drive of the fourth quarter. Mateer, he drops back and call his own number, taking the guy in the end zone with him. Guys, John Mateer is starting to make it as we see this play again. Taking the guy in the end zone with him for potentially the game-winning touchdown, right? Auburn with a chance to win it right here. Not in my house. Mason Thomas for the safety sack to put the icing on the cake. Sooners with a big win at home, 24-17.
They had 10 sacks. That is the largest number in program history. Oklahoma's won 9 of their last 10 home games against AP-ranked teams. They take it by 7, 4-0 for the Sooners. Mateer, 24-36, 271, 2 total touchdowns. Jackson Arnold in the losing effort against his former team, 21-32, 220, and a score. Biggest takeaway from this here, Kevin?
Huge matchup, but a huge statement win for Oklahoma at a pivotal point in the season. To me, this is right before we're on the precipice of conference play across the country, right? This is a pecking order game before the pecking order games actually start. And what a way to actually make their statement. Resounding win, commanding the defense. Just immaculate today. This is their second Power 5, Power 4 matchup where they didn't give up over 300 yards, haven't yielded over 300 total yards to an opposing offense thus far this season through 4 games. And John Mateer has been as good as advertised. I mean, look, I'll let you talk about John Mateer in a little bit, but man, this defense, I mean, look, they're hitting on all cylinders, but this is an SEC matchup. And to say that you've yet to yield 300 total yards to an opposing offense and you're playing in the SEC, 2 Power 4 matchups, I mean, that's impressive to me. So I love what they're doing offensively. I love what they're doing defensively. 10 sacks on the day. To me, this is a resounding win before we get to conference play.
Big-time statement, and John Mateer continues his early season surge here. You're talking about a transfer guy, and we talk often on this set about how just because you get a big-money guy in the transfer portal and the way college football is built these days doesn't mean it's going to work out. And there are tales that haven't worked out for certain programs. So far, so good on Mateer playing for Oklahoma.
You know, so far, so good. They hit the lottery on John Mateer. And as a quarterback, you want situations like this. Both quarterback, Arnold and Mateer, had a chance to have game-winning drives. Unfortunately for Arnold, this is Mateer's night. As he started this drive right here, he was hitting on all cylinders in the run game, as we saw him pick up a critical first down at this point at the ball game, and then also passing the ball, being efficient, delivering the ball where only his guys can catch it. And not just catching the ball, catching and running is the biggest thing when you're talking about a game-winning drive. Not getting a field goal range. I'm trying to win this game. Look at this dime. He couldn't have walked 34 yards down the field and handed him a better ball than that. And then to put the ice on the cake, taking the guy in the end zone with him to ultimately be the game-winning touchdown. John Mateer is a playmaker. He's a baller. This is the missing piece. This was the missing piece this Oklahoma team unfortunately had last year. And it's kind of ironically, you faced the guy that you thought was going to be the John Mateer and Jackson Arnold this past year. Now he's on the opposing team with the Tigers. But John Mateer got this team, and we talked about it earlier, that swagger that they have on the sideline. He's dancing and things like that. Yep. This is my 3rd week in a row. I hope you guys bought some stock in John Mateer when it was early when I said he reminded me of Baker Mayfield. We'll see.
That's a good comparison.
We have seen really good teams sleepwalk against programs they're supposed to dominate early on in the season. That's not been the case. They beat Oklahoma, beat Illinois State 35-3, went on the road across the country to Philadelphia and beat Temple. Temple's not good, but they hammered them 42-3. And then the other two wins are ranked wins against number 15 Michigan 24-13 and now against number 22 Auburn 24-17. And you look at the remaining schedule, obviously you're going to get the bye, then Kent State. Huge one, the rivalry, of course, against Texas, then out South Carolina, and then you close out the regular season with 5 ranked opponents, Kevin.
Look, everyone in the SEC can say that they have a murderer's row at some point in the season. You've got to brave that SEC, schedule if you're in the SEC or in the Big Ten for that matter. You're going to have a murderer's row coming down the line. But look, this is why we give confidence to certain teams because of what they put on film. It matters how you win your games. You talk about pertinent statements. You talk about traits that championships teams have. They have a quarterback, right? They have a quarterback that they can rally around. They have a defense that can stop anyone. And they usually have a run game that can make hay against most teams. Well, you ran into a buzzsaw today called Auburn. Big guys up front on that side of the ball for them. Not a lot of rushing yards to be had. But who's leading the way? John Mateer, right? But what about that defensive effort? 10-plus sacks, that kind of work being put in. Look, if you can't end games, if you can't kill the momentum on a 2-minute drive, if you can't change the momentum and key plays during the game, then you can't win. Oklahoma shows all the signs of being able to do everything we talked about.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Kevin. And the frustrating part, if I'm Oklahoma as a player and I'm in that locker room as a coach, I'm pretty much going on a 2-week bye week this upcoming week, and then I don't think Kent State is going to give them a matchup where they're going to get tested enough to go into the Cotton Bowl and have their best foot forward early on to play a Texas team who's looking like they're starting to hit their strides. That's the tough part about the SEC. You have so many great teams ending the season as it is right now with 5 ranked straight opponents and potentially maybe 1 or 2 more. They seem to be hitting their sweet spot right now. It just sucks they got to go on basically a 2-week bye week before they really get into the nitty-gritty of their conference play.
I would say this. When they hired Brent Venables, it was a home run hire. Year 1, 6-7. Year 2, they win 10 games. They went 10-3, then slipped back to 6-7 last year. And so it hasn't been, I think, what Sooner fans, up until now, big deal that you joined the SEC. Obviously, the competition changes, but I don't think they have felt to this point like they've gotten everything they wanted from the Brent Venables hire. But so far, so good this season. Quick thought now on Auburn, suffering their first loss. Still obviously a ranked team and 3-1, 1/3 of the way through the regular season.
I think what Auburn put on film today was definitely something to be looked at, right? It's just not nothing. You don't play a team like Oklahoma, and all we can go off of is what we see on film. But looking at Jackson Arnold's performance, looking at their run game, looking at how their defense was able to play versus another good defense that is yet to deal 300 total yards to an opposing offense, whenever you're able to match play on that level, those are signs of a good team, okay? When you can stop someone from running the ball, a good rushing team typically like Oklahoma, this gives Auburn a chance down the stretch. Auburn's not going to be an easy out or an easy win for anyone down the stretch. So Auburn is one of those teams on that murderer's row. If you look at different teams in the SEC, look at Missouri, look at Alabama, look at Tennessee's schedule, look at Georgia's schedule. If they got Auburn on it, it's not going to be an easy out.
Yeah, I like what Auburn did tonight. I mean, I think it was pretty cool to see them go toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the SEC, arguably one of the best teams in the whole college football right now with Oklahoma. So they're not going to be an easy game. They're not going to be an easy game for anyone, and I think if Jackson Arnold continued to evolve in his play within his offense, they can make some noise at the end of the season.
Their next game is next week in College Station against number 10 Texas A&M. Then the bye week, then home against 5th-ranked Georgia, then a ranked Missouri team.
Just doesn't get any
Talk
easier.
about a gauntlet. That's it. That's the story on Oklahoma's 7-point win on Auburn here on Saturday.